Hey, 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 Dr. Minesha here, affectionately known as Dr. M. What's a pleasure to introduce to you Chanelle Yarber. Thank you so much for joining us in the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us. Now, tell us what part of the world are you joining us from, Chanelle?
Yes, so I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
All right. Yes, I've been there a couple of times. I traveled there a couple of times last year for business. So good to have you from Dallas, Texas. Now, before we dive into this amazing conversation that we both have no idea what direction this conversation is going to go in, and I always laugh whenever I speak with the leaders. They're like, "Okay, so we don't get anything like no framework, any topics, or any." I'm like, "Nope, we just go right in." No chaser, just whatever the soul says needs to be said, that's what we'll say. So that's what makes this time exciting. For those of you who are joining us for the very first time, know that we're so glad that you're here. This is a sacred and strategic place where leaders of leaders come to be sharpened, to come to get real stories from real leaders who don't just show their badge of honor, their titles, and their successes, but they also are courageous enough to share the highs and lows of leadership. And we're able to have some real conversations that matter. So tune in. If anything is said, remember, I have no idea. So I reserve the right to be wiser tomorrow. That's my disclaimer. And everybody that comes on here, we choose the cream of the crop from all across the planet with leaders. And I'm not just talking about outcomes and achievements, I'm also talking about their heart, their heart to serve, their heart for people, for humans, amazing humans like you who really put people over profits. And so, with that being said, why don't you start by introducing yourself and a little bit about some of the things that you've been able to achieve and ways you're able to support others up until this point in your journey?
Sure. So, as you said, my name is Chanelle Yarber. I am the founder and CEO of Bright Girl Media, which is a
Uh,
marketing agency that focuses on working with purpose-driven businesses. Those, just like you just said, that put people over profit is who I enjoy serving the
Oh,
most.
wow.
Yeah, and I've owned my business now for a long time. Um, and you know what? My greatest accomplishment is really just still being here, to be quite honest. It's
Mm,
nothing, um, grandiose, awards
mm,
and all that, that's great.
mhm,
Recognition, that's wonderful, but resilience and the
mm.
ability to bounce back is,
You're
my
talking
claim to
good.
fame.
That's right, that's a big one.
Sorry about that. My mom is calling me. Um, yeah, she's calling me on
No
my
worries. Hey, mom.
I know.
Yeah.
Um, so that's really my claim to fame. It's just resilience, the ability to bounce back, and the ability to just continue to create, to continue to show up, serve,
Yeah.
and just be
I love
authentically
that. Let me tell you,
myself.
out of everyone, I've done quite a few interviews this year. You're the first person to really lead with that. I've achieved still being here after everything that I've gone through up until this point. I'm here. I have breath in my body, and that's powerful. Actually, it leads me to a topic actually that's really ringing really loud for me that I never spoke on that I would love to unpack with you because people that are resilient, you'll understand this word really well. And this is a word that I believe that it's not used enough when we talk about leadership, but I believe that it's a very important part of leadership. And people that are listening right now, you're called high achievers, you're high value people, people pull on you. And so oftentimes you feel the weight, but you don't really have a lot of places where you can kind of release, right?
Mhm.
And just kind of have those human moments. And so the word, are you ready for the word? Well, actually, it's two words.
Let's go.
All right. So it is emotional mastery.
Mm.
And I really believe that people that are resilient have this gift for emotional mastery. And so I would love for you to kind of share with me what that looks like for you.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I'm not sure that I have mastered my emotions
Mhm.
as much
I love the transparency.
as I have many times, had to navigate through systems and situations masking my emotions. And,
Ooh.
yeah, it's rough
Yeah.
because what I've learned over time, especially when I was younger, um, I would stuff things, I would
Mhm.
just take it on the chin, keep moving, and
Mm.
I still do that, to an extent to this day, but
Mhm.
learning mechanisms um, to be more loving and more kind to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, to yourself. I love the way you said that. I love the way you connected the, holding and the masking of emotions to literally neglecting your body because, I've learned that just recently, actually, just doing more research around energy and how it impacts the body and
Mm,
emotions, and literally when we suppress it or we mask it. So for
mhm.
those of you all who were listening, this is something that we do subconsciously, especially as high achievers. We learn to mask. And the reason why we do that is because a lot of times when we're leading, people can't handle seeing us in a state that's anything other than a beautiful state, a
Yep,
clear state, directive state, because it actually makes their nervous system dysregulated, right?
correct,
And
correct.
so and we're too busy thinking about the other people and how they're going to respond that we neglect what we're needing in that moment, right? And so we learn how to mask. And the thing that I love that you said is just understanding that those emotions have frequencies
Mhm.
and they are attaching itself to our organs, and those frequencies of like feeling betrayed or feeling disrespected, or maybe somebody in the leader or somebody in the office or even a client felt like you were unseen or so, and it's creating some triggers from your past, like all of these things, because we're not processing through it. It's compounding like interest
Yes.
inside of our bodies,
Yes, I
inside of our
am the
bodies.
poster child for that. So, I have been in quite a few toxic environments in corporate,
Mm,
which led me to be the entrepreneur, which led me to start other streams of income to be able to
I
stand on
love
my
that.
own, because I recognized that I could not always show up as my most authentic self in these places. They,
Mm,
like you said, they don't know how to accept that. They don't know how to
mm,
accept the whole you coming into work. And
mm,
so with that and with, just showing up as a Black woman in corporate
mhm.
spaces where it's not built for us, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
learn how to navigate, we learn how to code switch, we learn how to, show up in the way that is acceptable to them.
Mhm.
But it is not always loving to our bodies. And I did that for years. And it honestly led me to a breakdown, a physical breakdown
Mm.
where I um, had no idea that I was carrying all this weight, had no idea that I was as stressed as I was,
Mm.
and it started showing up in my health, and it manifested a tumor.
My.
Yeah, it manifested a tumor, and so I ended up, 9 years ago having to have surgery, for an accidentally found tumor. I had no symptoms, I had
Oh,
nothing
my.
that would lead me, other
Yeah.
than my chest was hurting, and I was like,
Mm.
"Chest so tight," like, you know how when you're stressed and you're holding stuff
Mhm,
in and it feels like
mhm,
you're kinda,
mhm,
crunched over or your chest is tight? It
mm.
happened to me after having a routine, day surgery
Typical.
that I should have
Oh,
been
a
in
day
and out of.
surgery. Wow.
Yeah, and so, after that, I'm like, "Something is wrong, something's not I don't feel right."
Yeah. That
Um,
spiritual intuition, thank you
yeah,
for that. That's
yeah,
powerful right there. Something in you
yeah,
is like, "Something is wrong." And
something
I
is not
that's a
right.
guiding post right there, and I'm
Yeah,
so glad
so
you took action.
yeah, that led to, accidentally uncovering this tumor,
Mm.
and leading me down the path of having to have surgery. And so I am very cognizant now of the amount of stress that I take on myself, um, my boundaries, my ability to say
Mm.
no unapologetically. Sometimes it still
Yeah,
hurts because I want to show up
yeah,
for people. I want to be
yeah.
there and be of service. And in some instances, that can be validating, right? It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely, for
people
sure.
see me as,
Mhm.
regarded highly, and they see
Valuable
me
and
as
yeah.
valuable, and I want to show
Mhm.
up in all the spaces. But learning that I'm a finite being, even though
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I love that so much. I'm a finite being,
yeah.
and this is something that I believe is not talked about enough. Just around the boundaries, because, and I even tell my kids this, like the things that we talk about, you all, even if it sounds like it's just for work, it is for life as well, because it's no compartmentalizing. It's all harmonizing. And I tell my kids often, my yes to you cannot be a no to me.
Mm,
And that helps me to make sure that before I say yes, that I check in with myself to make sure I'm not saying no, and that just kinda allows me to hold myself accountable, because as leaders, we lead with a sense of servitude, and it can be a double-edged sword, you
yeah.
know?
I
Yeah.
like that you said that, in space with your children. I don't have children. So,
Mm.
my children, I put that in air quotes, my children
Your your fur
are,
babies?
yeah. No, no,
Ah,
no, no, I don't even have fur
oh,
babies. It's just the
oh.
people that I come in contact with that need something from me, that I exchange
Oh,
energy with,
wow.
right, in this if
Yeah.
I'm to equate it to what you're saying.
Mhm.
And so, my mantra has become, if someone asks me something, if they ask me for something, to do something, to show up in whatever way, if they ask me to go to an event, whatever,
Mm.
if it's not immediately a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Yes, yes. Oh gosh, I
If I
love it.
don't get excited about it, if I don't see myself contributing to this space in a positive way, if I don't see myself showing up and being excited and it doesn't feel like toil or weight on me, if I don't initially say, "Ooh, this is sparking me. Yes, I want to do,"
Mm.
then it's probably not something
Wow.
that I need to spend my energy on.
Wow. So let me ask you this, because that's really powerful. Um, what would you say to a person that is in a state, like a season, where the season just feels strained, but yet God is still kind of pulling them into servant mode? I remember even when my sister passed away, she was 27 years old. I went down to Georgia, moved from Tampa to Georgia, and my mom, I ran her business for a year, so until we could sell it. And when you look at it, it's like, dang, you should be grieving, but you're running this business, and then you took on your daughter, you adopted my sister's daughter. So you have that. And then I got a divorce 2 years, I mean, 2 months, I'm sorry, 2 months after my sister passed. And, a lot of things came to surface, and then I ended up having to make that choice. So it was just a lot of moving pieces. And so it was harder for me to find that hell yes, like,
Yeah.
so I wonder if that strategy works when you are weary,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
Like, what you know what I mean? What's coming up
I
for
will
you?
I will tell you, yes, it does. I'm in that season right now where I
Mm,
feel like I have a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. Caring for my mom,
mhm,
you see, she just called me. I have
mhm,
work, I have my business, I have, volunteerism and things that I show up
mhm,
for in that space. And what I would say is working for me right now is rest. And so find
mhm.
rest in order to find the grace that you need to continue to push forward.
Yeah, have
Sometimes
that
it
hell yes.
yeah,
Find
sometimes
rest so you can be able
find
to discern
rest.
your hell yes.
Find rest. And
Yeah.
also define what your boundaries are. As women, we take on a lot that we just
Mhm.
don't have to carry, especially
That's
Black women.
right.
I
That's
see
right.
us and I see us in business. I see us in the community. I see us at our places of worship. I see us all the places being fixers, being toilers. We carry the burden of labor all the time. It is historic.
Mhm.
We have done
Oh,
it,
yeah,
and
very historic.
that's just how we
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
And I'm at the place where I'm like, "You know what? If this falls apart, oh,
Yeah.
well, it's not on me." Like, I don't have to take on I don't have to take on the
Like,
emotional
I'm telling
guilt.
you, someone listening right now, that was a ruffle feather moment. That was like, "Huh, we're supposed to be
No,
servant leaders." But let's unpack this,
we're
because
not.
this is really good. And this is what I say, whenever something is said that causes you to ruffle your feathers a little bit or create some resistance internally or anything like that, lean in because that is the edge of growth. That's the edge of another perspective, a paradigm shift that your soul is leaping and saying, yeah, 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 listen to that. Yes, what she said, and it's so counterintuitive
Mhm.
than what we're used to. So your body, your mind wants to reject it, but your soul wants to lean in.
Yep.
And so what Chanel is saying is that you can care, but you don't have to carry.
That's
We
so
and I
good.
love what you said about being finite beings because I really believe that we have this deception that, we just have a finite amount of just, you know, care and attention that we can give to everyone. No, we have a finite amount of love.
Mhm.
We owe no man nothing but love, so we can give love. But I believe that a lot of us are putting love and care and attention in the same boat. Like
Yes.
you can love, but you don't doesn't mean you have to put attention. So just how Chanel just saw her mom, she loves her mom. Her mom called her, but right now she couldn't give her mom the attention that her mom wanted. And so sometimes we'll feel like, oh, that's not love. That makes that person sad. That person may be frustrated because I'm not there when that person needs. I I can't give you the attention every time that you need it, but I still love you. I
Mhm.
do. You
Mhm.
know, and that's what she's really, saying. And it's such a powerful differentiator that can really preserve so much sanity.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm telling you, I grew up in the Christian faith. Um,
Mm,
and while I love the foundation of what I was taught, much of it was
mhm,
taught from a place of being sacrificial to self and
mm,
not
mm,
loving of self. And
absolutely.
one of the main things that Jesus taught us is to love your neighbor as you
Yes.
love
And love
yourself.
yourself.
So
That's
how
right.
can I love my neighbor if I don't love myself first? So I have to put on
Mm.
my mask first. I have to put on my life vest
This
first. I
this is
have
like the
to
third
armor myself up
podcaster that
first.
has brought this up. This is a message for you all. We do not talk about what we're gonna talk about in advance. And literally, the last 3 podcasters have said this exact thing. This is
Wow.
what needs to come out. You
Wow.
gotta hear that again. I'm telling you all, when you listen to this, rewind it back and listen at least one more time. Because I really do believe that the divine, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, is really wanting you to digest this in your spirit, right? Put that mask on you first. Because sometimes we
Mhm.
hear it so much, it comes so familiar. It's like, oh, yeah, I've heard that. No, he's bringing it back up for a reason. 3
Yeah.
times? Come on.
Yeah, I don't think God is calling us to Jesus sacrificed himself. Like, he
Mm.
was the sacrifice. Why are we trying
Mhm.
to why are we trying
Yeah,
to do his work?
right,
And many times
exactly.
when we do that and we try to pick up the pieces for other people, we are blocking them from their
That's
breakthrough, their
right.
blessing, their lesson, and everything else. And so, like I said, I'm okay. I cannot carry the guilt of trying to fix it for everybody, be there for everybody. If you're upset with me, I literally just had a situation this weekend where I was completely cooked. I mean, overwhelmed, like panic
Mm.
attacks, like
Wow,
about to fall
Chanel.
apart. Yeah, it was just me reckoning with going back into a very emotional and tumultuous situation. And so
Mm.
I just was not good for my friends and, the people around me, and I am certain so when my friends had an event,
Mhm.
she'd been planning this event for months, and I
Mm.
know that this event means a lot to her, and it's a
Yeah.
service project, so it's something that I'm
Oh,
interested in doing because
yeah.
I love to show up and serve.
Yeah.
Um, but I was completely out of it, and I had
Yeah.
to forgive myself because I felt so bad. I'm like, "Oh my god, I failed my friend. I didn't show up for her. I know she
Mm.
feels, some type of way that I didn't show up." But I just had to apologize, and I had to forgive and let it go
Release
'cause
it,
it was
yeah.
nothing I had nothing more in the tank to give, and so you never wanna
Mm.
you want to find your
Yeah. That's right, absolutely. You wanna be able to do that, even if it may cause someone else to feel some type of way, you have to do that, and then even looking back to, you know, one of the things I always do, and I admonish you all to do this often as you can. I try to do it every night, but reflection, especially when you have people that are disappointed in their interaction with you. I treat it like a business, where you have a customer or someone who's disappointed. I'm always listening for, some of it's going to be a little bit emotional because there's some, inflated, emotions around it
Mhm.
naturally, right? But then there's always a little bead of truth. And that's what I look for. What could I do differently? You
Yeah.
know, even, someone didn't show for a podcast. My first person ever didn't show. And she was like, well, I didn't get a confirmation. I'm like, I didn't know that was something that we confirmed it when we confirmed the date that we're
Right,
coming
right.
on. Like, we need to confirm the confirmed, like, you know. But I was like, well, maybe we can input a confirmation email so that no one has to even, worry about is it confirmed. Just finding that thing. And so when you were saying that, I was saying, I don't know what else happened during that day, but, like, when she shared with you that date that was going on, making sure that I don't have anything else going on that's going to make me tired so that
Mhm.
I can be there and show up for
Yeah,
her. You know what I mean? Or
yeah.
just, looking at different things to say, okay, next time. And sometimes I feel like that's what the customer or that's what the loved one or the spouse or the kid wants to hear is that, you know what? I had this go round, I had to show up for me. I was tired. I did
Mhm,
not realize I overshot. If I
mhm.
would have known that XYZ was gonna make me feel like that, I wouldn't even put it on my calendar.
Correct.
Next time you have an event, girl, I'm gonna make sure that that stuff's off my calendar. And, being able to state that so that they can feel safe again, because that's what it is, that
Mhm.
psychological
It
safety
does.
that they're
Uh-huh.
needing, to say, "Okay, you have something in place so that I want my friend to be there," because this is the thing, Chanel. Your presence, I had to learn this. You all, I hope you are listening. Our presence, the type of people that we are like the one percenters. We don't even realize just being in the room.
Yeah,
We take for granted that, but it's like people really rely and it lights their world just to have our presence in the room,
yeah.
and that's a lot of weight.
It's
That's
a
my
ton of weight.
responsibility,
It's a ton of weight. It
It's like,
really, really is.
dang, like, I can't rest, I can't,
Yeah.
like, it's almost like that you really do have this it's the people have the superhuman complex for you, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm. Yeah. They
And,
don't see you as human at all. They see you
mm,
as and this
yeah,
also
I
this
thought you were
we
gonna be
tie
there.
yeah, 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 yeah. They start especially I mean, if you're a woman or a man of your word and you show up consistently and you
Absolutely, they
show up
expect
in a
it, yeah,
certain way consistently,
mhm.
that's
Expectations
building
there.
trust, and that is
Yeah,
what you want. You wanna be a
yeah,
trustworthy,
yeah,
congruent person.
yeah,
I absolutely
mhm.
um, was something that my father always taught me is that if you give your word, even if it costs you, stand on your word.
That's what my dad
And
tells me
so
too. That's something
yeah,
else. My dad
yeah.
used to tell me that too.
So
And I
that
think that's what makes the fall it's like a double-edged sword, though. That's what makes
mhm.
the fall so far.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
leader like me, how I'm thinking now because we're leaders, how our mindset is really shifting. I'm like, the fall isn't because they usually keep their word. So I know if they didn't this time,
It
it
had
must
to
have
be
been
something.
something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it
we
had to be
already
something.
there, right? We
Mhm.
already there. But for some reason it doesn't translate to the people.
But you know what? That goes back into, are they really your people?
Mm.
Are they your tribe? Are they your people? Or are they sent to be drains on your gift?
Mm.
Because if they know you, they know your heart posture, they've seen you show up, perform, and they trust and believe in you, and they have your best interest at heart.
Mm.
If you don't show up that one time the way that they're always
Mm.
used to, their response should be, "Hey sis, are
Is
you
it okay?
okay?
Something
Do
okay?
you need
Yeah.
something from me? How can
Mhm.
I bridge the
Yeah.
gap for
Mhm.
you in
'Cause
this
this isn't
space?
like you.
Because this
Yeah,
ain't like
but this is so good because this right here, when I think about umbrella topic, this is like relational capacity one-on-one. Because one of the things that peace-driven leaders, what I highly recommend is that every 90 days, I'm looking at my friend list. I
Mm,
mean, I'm evaluating, and when I say literally evaluate the value
mm,
that this person is bringing to my space in this season. And if the value, and not to make it all transactional, however, it's important to realize because what happens, there's certain things you were willing to do in one season that you're not just because the value doesn't match. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And so the repositioning happened. I literally have this relational wheel where I reposition people. You
Mm,
know, and so my friend of 24 years, she knows it now. She's like, "Oh, I can already tell when I'm I'll see if I get back up on the wheel. I still love you,
let's see if
you
I
know,
still
but
make it.
everybody has capacity. And at the end of the day, I really think that you have the peer to peer, you know, and it's just that casual. You have those rooted friends who's going to be there like family, you
Yeah,
know, and then the peer to peer, they are the one that's supposed to check on you. They are the one that's supposed to like, oh well, that's not like you. But then you have that mentee who's right underneath. They're not thinking about you. The mentee is pulling from you,
yep,
pulling the fruit. So
yep,
sometimes we have mentees that we like that we have in peer group that really should be the mentee. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because that's the mindset of a mentee. You were supposed to be here for me. You know, I'm supposed to, the take the pull versus the reciprocity. The
Mhm,
reciprocity is peer to peer. And then you have those people that, like I say, make you tippy toe. Those people
yeah,
that life, they say that your life is either gonna warn people or inspire people. Either
mm,
way, it's important. I take both, in stride. Sometimes people's different seasons in people's life will warn someone, another season can inspire someone at the same time, it could be a blend of the both. But you want to have people like that it keeps you focused on the vision because you can tell from their life, of what it looks like. They model it for you. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
So this conversation has been so rich. And I want you to pause for a moment as we're talking, and Chanel's going to unpack the magic that she does in her work. I'm really excited to hear that. I want you to think about that person though in your family, in your life, Okay. You okay, baby? All right. He's well, Jen, cut that part out. What a big cough. My husband. So, but yeah, so really my question to you is this, Chanel. What is the thing that when your clients are experiencing you that they absolutely rave about the most?
mm. What I hear the most is about my authenticity and approachability.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Um, yeah, people say that about me all the time. People feel like they know me. I never meet a stranger.
Yeah. I can
I
see
have
that.
been like that for a long in many spaces, not just in business, but it's just I
That's
don't
who
know,
you are. You
it's
don't
just
know how
who
to
I
turn it off.
am.
Yeah.
I don't look to people who may have more money or more prestige or whatever, titles and all those things. I don't look to those people as untouchable to me, and I don't look at myself as being above someone else. I'm just a human being, just like everybody else. So I'll talk to anybody. Uh,
I love that.
so
I love it.
so that's what I hear the most is that I'm approachable, I'm authentic, and that people enjoy learning from me.
Mm,
Um,
that's awesome.
and I, even as I'm saying this, it's funny. It's reflective. I've always been a leader. I did not realize that all the time, but I have always been a leader. I mean, from the time I was in like preschool, kindergarten, I
Yeah,
have
isn't that
always been
something?
a leader. And I never thought about myself as a leader, but I'm like, no, yeah, I was because kids
Yeah,
always used to like look up to me for something, for some reason.
yeah.
Um, and not that I was trying to be anything. I
It
think
was
I
just
just
who
care.
you
I'm a
are.
light carrier,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
That's
all.
awesome. So, tell me a little bit about, just the solution. It's gonna sound like cliche question, but the problem that you solve. Like,
Yeah.
how do you add value to society, in other words?
Yes, I love that. I love the way you frame the question because most people say, "What do you do?" What do you do? But you say, "How do you add value?" So in my work. how I add value to business owners is by helping them to create clarity in their marketing. That is
Mm,
figuring out who it is that they are trying to reach. Is this your best or ideal customer or audience? How do you bring your value to the marketplace? How do you present it?
mhm.
How do you communicate that to people? How do you get people to want to come back and re-engage with your brand to build your business? And so
Yeah.
I do that through strategy, marketing campaigns.
I love
Um,
that. Let
yeah,
me
and
ask
get
you
people.
this. This is actually like a slight plot twist, but if you were to leave us, with a idea that we
Mhm,
can build upon, especially those who are in the corporate space. I love seeing marketing as a place that they're marketing themselves. Right. So they're, deciding what company they're going to be a part of. And maybe they're thinking about, moving up the ladder and they have to market themselves,
mhm.
especially because the corporate space is so, competitive, even though there's no one like you. But what could that look like? So that you can give them something to kind of think on when it comes to marketing yourself within a corporate ecosystem.
Oh, that's good. Make sure that you are intentional about your personal brand, whether that's
Mm,
external or internal. Meaning, internally, make sure that you are networking internally as much as you are networking externally. Make
mm,
sure that you are creating visibility for yourself and connectivity, that people know the value of the work that you do, and that is
mm.
it's expressed, it is known.
Like how, other
And
than a resume, how can they express
oh,
it on?
yeah. You're evangelizing yourself inside your company. That's how you get promoted. So,
Mm,
showing up in meetings. When I'm at work, I go to people's offices and I just pop in and I start having conversations with them. I ask them and inquire about what it is that they're doing. And then my mind starts
relationships,
firing
relational,
off, and I'm like,
very
"Oh,
strong.
you do this, I do that. This is how I can help you." So now I'm presenting my
Ah.
value to these people. I don't have to be in all the rooms.
Value proposition without having paper
Yeah.
in hand.
Yeah, I don't have to be in all the boardrooms, but if I know what you do and you know what I do, now when there's an opportunity for us to work together, you'll call on me. You'll speak my name in rooms. And so it's the same way that you're networking and building externally. It's just you're doing it inside your company. Those people leave, they go to other companies. The very first person who hired me fresh out of college is the same person who hired me just 2 years ago for another project. That's a 20
What?
plus year relationship because I
Lord have
built that
mercy.
relationship internally. So
Mm,
it doesn't always have
powerful.
to be, an external thing. It's just you building your brand, you knowing your own value and what you bring to the table, whether it's transferable skills or hard skills or technology, whatever it is, and evangelizing that with people and letting them know. And not
That
being
is
not being shy
powerful.
or quiet. One thing I see about us as women of color, particularly Black women, we think our work should always speak for us. It won't.
Mm,
They will take your work and they will
mm,
repurpose it as their own, and they will use your work and get a
mm.
promotion. You
My.
have to speak up for yourself. You have to build your network on your own. You have to be your
My.
own and your best, most voracious fan and
Mm.
promoter of yourself and marketer of yourself so that you can
Woo!
position yourself for
Mic
other
drop.
opportunities.
Mic drop moment right there.
Yeah, you gotta speak up, honey. You can't
That's
you can't
right.
wait for
Don't let the
somebody to
work
see
speak
that
for
you
you. You
did this
gotta speak up.
project
I
over here,
love
and they're
that.
gonna say, "Oh, yeah, Lakeisha did a great job." They ain't gonna do that.
And that's happened. Look, you said Lakeisha, because
Or
most
Tanisha, whoever, they're not gonna do that. They will not do that.
That's right. You're absolutely right. And those of you who are listening, you're nodding your head because it either happened to you already or somebody you know.
Yeah.
And that is the real right there. So you heard it here first from Chanelle. That was phenomenal. I absolutely loved all the angles that you were able to share insight. Such a sobering, practical, like relatable. insight that you've given us in the lounge today. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
Absolutely. Now, I would say if you were to leave someone, but I just don't want them to forget about that. I feel like that was the mic drop moment about not letting your work speak for itself. So I just got to leave that there because I want y'all to digest that. That was really good. And as we get ready to land the plane on today, just remember that this is a movement. Peace driven leadership is a movement. We have leaders like Chanelle inside of our I Lead, We Rise app who are really loving, living, and leading well. And when we say well, meaning differently, different than the majority, right? They're peopling. They understand like 20-year relationship. You heard her, the nurturing of relationships. And I really believe that that is the wave that we're moving into, a dispensation where relational capacity is where it is, right? Because with AI, that is the only thing that it cannot reproduce is a true, authentic relationship. So get ahead now. Get locked in with the app, use it so you can give yourself some more relational capacity so that you can make sure that you have margin to nurture people, right? In these relationships. And so that it doesn't feel transactional. You don't want to be that person that only calls them around the holiday time and only when you want to make a sale or when you're trying to bring up another proposal or invite them. No, nurture, nurture, nurture the relationship. Oh man, it's been wonderful. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Until next time, you all, remember, peace driven leadership is not something you find. It's something you create. And this now is your moment to create it. Until the next episode, bye bye for now.